Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. The offspring of hippos, once owned by Colombian drug kingpin Pablo Escobar, can be recognized as people or interested persons with legal rights in the US following a federal court order. The case involves a lawsuit against the Colombian government over whether to kill or sterilize the hippos, whose numbers are growing at a fast pace and pose a threat to biodiversity. An animal rights group is hailing the order as a milestone victory in the long-standing efforts to sway the US justice system to grant animals personhood status. But the order will not carry any weight in Colombia, where the hippos live, a legal expert said. The ruling has no impact in Colombia because they only have an impact within their own territories. It will be the Colombian authorities who decide what to do with the hippos and not the American ones, said Camilo Burbano, a criminal law professor at the Universidad Externado de Colombia. The cocaine hippos are descendants of animals that Escobar illegally imported to his Colombian ranch in the 1980s when he reigned over the country's drug trade. After his death in a 1993 shootout with authorities, the hippos were abandoned at the state and left to thrive with no natural predators. Their numbers have increased in the last 8 years from 35 to somewhere between 65 and 80. A group of scientists has warned that the hippos pose a threat to the area's biodiversity and could lead to deadly encounters with humans. They are advocating for some of animals to be killed. A government agency has started sterilizing some of the hippos, but there is a debate on what are the safest methods. In the suit, attorneys for the Animal Legal Defense Fund asked the U.S. District Court in Cincinnati to give interested person status to the hippos so that two wildlife experts in sterilization from Ohio could be deposed in the case. Federal Magistrate Judge Karen Litkowitz in Cincinnati granted the request on 15th October. The animal rights group based near San Francisco said it believed it was the first time animals have been declared legal persons in the US. Their attorneys argued that because advocates for the hippos can bring lawsuits to protect their interests in Colombia, the hippos should be considered interested persons under US law. They pointed to a federal statute that allows anyone who is an interested person in a foreign lawsuit to ask a federal court to permit them to take depositions in the US in support of their case. Christopher Berry, the lead attorney for the Animal Legal Defense Fund, called it a narrow but profound ruling. This really is part of a bigger movement of advocating that animals' interests be represented in court, he said. We are not asking to make up a new law. We are just asking that animals have the ability to enforce the rights that have already been given to them. While animals have been granted legal rights in India, Pakistan, and Argentina, courts in the US have been unwilling to do so until now. A judge in Connecticut called a petition filed 4 years ago by an animal rights group to grant personhood to 3 elephants in a traveling petting zoo wholly frivolous. In another closely watched case, the New York Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, agreed in May to decide whether an elephant at the Bronx Zoo should be granted legal personhood and be moved to a sanctuary. Legal personhood is just the ability to have your interest heard and represented in court, Perry said. It's about enforcing rights they already have under animal cruelty laws and other protection laws. So if you are looking forward to more interesting news, don't forget to subscribe and comment.